All right, yeah, we're ready to go. Hey, just a couple of you guys on. I just realized I didn't send out a reminder call for this, so we might have a light call here today. Anyway, uh, if you guys ever don't get a reminder, just know this call always goes on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So you can always hop on here. Uh, I talked to Russ, who was on the call today, uh, just a couple days ago, and let him know that it's okay to request reviews on this call as well. Like if you want me to take a look at your site either for a conversion standpoint or from an SEO standpoint, I can do reviews. I can run them through SEM Rush for you. Anything you guys need, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to do it. That's what this call is for, to help you guys in any way that I can. So feel free again to request that. If you want like a full site review and all that kind of stuff, uh, it's easier to schedule that if you let me know ahead of time, and then I can set windows up in the back so we can just go from one to the next. But if you are ever on here and there's nothing going on, nobody's asking questions, and you want me to look at something, feel free, just hop right out. I think you guys all know how to unmute and share your screens and all that kind of stuff. So if you've got something you want me to look at, or you want the group to look at, you want feedback, this is a great place to take advantage of that type of stuff. So with that said, I think, do you guys have any questions right out of the gate? Anybody want to hop in here and start on a channel, or should I just go ahead? Okay, so let me discuss a rather hot new topic in the market here, in the traffic market, and has to do with keywords. And this is something that shouldn't be a shock to you. I've been talking about this for quite some time with the user experience thing and all that. But keyword selection, traffic, organic traffic, and even pay-per-click traffic has always been, that's kind of been the cornerstone of that type of work, figuring out what keywords that you should be ranking for and what keywords you want to optimize for. Now, that's always been the fact, and it still is, but the keywords that you need to be optimizing for nowadays are much different because of the fact that Google is looking at user experience. Keep this in mind. If you rank for, and here's the way it used to be. It used to be you would look at keywords that only had high search volume. You wanted like the ones that would bring you a barrage of traffic. And that became a mistake about 5 to 6 years ago, when everybody started to go into the niches, because those keywords, they just weren't as effective anymore. And here's the reason why. You couldn't convert from them. You could get the traffic from them, but you couldn't get the conversion, because the psychology behind a buyer or prospect is the first thing they do. They generally don't just buy on first sight. What they do is they use the internet to research. They might be looking for prices, they might be looking for information, and typically the first term that they'll search for is a generic term. And I've used this analogy for many years, is if you were looking for tires for your car, if you put in tires, what you're going to get in a search result is you're going to get everything under the sun. And that's going to be naturally, by human nature, your first search, because you think tires, right? So you type that in and you get everything back under the sun. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to say, now I'm really looking for, I'm not looking for kids' bike tires. I'm not looking for truck tires. I'm not looking for tires for my go-kart. I'm looking for Goodyear steel-belted radials. So see how it went from tires to Goodyear steel-belted radials. Now they put that in and they can learn all about Goodyear steel belted radials. They can figure out which one they need. They can figure out, prices. They can start searching on that. When they get closer to a buying decision, they're going to change that search phrase. They're going to change that search phrase to Goodyear steel belted radial and a 14-inch, the particular one that fits my car. And then they're going to start looking for price. That's their price shopping now. And the next and the final phase, the final frontier of this action is going to be, they're going to put in the exact tire, the exact size, and their location. Because if they're in Southern California, obviously they don't want to go to Chicago to buy this tire, right? They want to drive down the street. They want to find the closest place. So adding the search phrase or the keywords near me is huge right now. So if you're doing any kind of optimization, any kind of pay-per-click, people are typing in the words near me when they get to the end of the rainbow, when they're ready to buy. So if you want keywords that convert like crazy and you sell a localized type product, that's something that you want to add into your program. That's kind of a little thing that's one of those secret ninja tricks. So if you've got a local type business, that's a great little tip. Now, if you're not doing a local business, here's another avenue to that. Google looks at that as a conversion. When Google sees, hey, they typed in this phrase, they went to that site, they clicked through, they actually made a purchase. Google knows that. They know what a purchase page looks like. They know what a commerce page looks like. They know what a transaction across line looks like. They understand all these metrics. So when they send somebody to a site that actually converts, they see that as a very relevant search, a very relevant place to land the traffic that comes to them. Because that's really their goal. Their goal is to take their users and get their users to what they want as quickly as possible. That's what has made them what they are today. That's what keeps them in business. That's what keeps the traffic coming back. That's what keeps their advertising dollars coming through. So understanding the psychology of who they are and what they do and why they do it is really important. So if you want their love, if you want what's called the Google love, that's basically high rank and traffic from a really good, reliable source. And when you get, let's say Google decides you're the best for a particular category or keyword and they put you at the top. What that is that is an endorsement from one of the biggest companies on the planet. That is a very, very trusted source. So when people used to buy things, they used to ask their neighbors, they used to ask their friends, hey, who do you use for insurance, or who do you go through for, for your tires, or who's your mechanic? They would get their referrals in that way. People rarely do that anymore. The thing that has changed is the delivery mechanism. They still want the referrals. Human nature says they're always going to look for verification. They're always going to look for, some endorsement of some sort. So basically what it does from a psychological standpoint, it takes the failure off of them. If they make the decision themselves and it fails, it's on them. Now, they're not thinking about this consciously. This is one of those little meta programs that runs in your subconscious and makes you do the things you do. When you can understand those, you can, from a marketing standpoint, you can be much more effective. So understanding the why behind all these things helps you to create marketing that works better. So that's what's going on. They want to ask for a referral because somewhere in their deep subconscious, they don't want to fail. And they feel that if they get a referral from somebody and it goes wrong, they can blame it on someone. They can say, well, yeah, Tom told me to do this and it didn't work, that damn Tom. And it's a weird thing. You know, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it is a thing. That's why people are doing, you know, that's why they ask for suggestions and referrals. You know, and it is. That's a really bizarre thing, but you'll find that, you know, if you dig down, that's why it is. That's where it's coming from. You know, and also it makes things easier too. You know, instead of doing the research for yourself, this is another reason for it. Instead of doing the research, it's easier just to ask somebody. So, you know, that's the one that a lot of people will take as gospel, but really the underlying thing too is that fear of failure. So the shift that's taken place is the shift has gone from asking this advice of your neighbors and your friends to it's even easier now. You know, you can pop up this thing called the computer and you can get on the internet, or you know, you can even pull this up your phone and there is an answer to every question sitting right at your fingertips. So those have now become the new referral out there. So when Google gives you a referral, that is a very trusted source. It's just like asking your neighbor or your friends. I've actually surveyed customers about why they chose who they chose, and it's almost uncanny that the answer is almost the same across the board. If you ask your customer, like let's say your customer got to you online and they came and they made a purchase or whatever, or they used you for a service, and you ask them why they chose you, your answer is probably going to be because you were number one on Google. I have had customers and my clients tell me that repeatedly over the last 20 years. You know, like my water park guy, Celine Dion, he asked her, why did you call me? She said, you were number one on Google. That's what got him that $1 million job, to put that water slide in. It was just that simple. You know, the guy that put my my water feature in my backyard, same thing. His wife always asked every client, every customer, you know, how did you hear about us? Why did you ultimately choose us? And she said 9 out of 10 would say you were number one on Google. So it is an incredibly trusted source. It's almost like there's this thing out there that whatever Google says is, and that's kind of scary, but knowing it, understanding it, and leveraging it to your benefit is very important. So Russ says, how do you unmute? You should, let's see, let me check here. Russ, it actually looks like you are not muted. You might just not have a microphone on your device there. You might not have it enabled. You might have chosen there's a choice sometimes.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Now I can hear you.
Oh. So I guess it was *6 on the phone unmutes me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Perfect.
Learn something new every day. Do you have time to do like an analysis using SEM Rush on a domain?
Sure.
Is that something that would need to be scheduled ahead of time?
No, we got time. We can do that. I'm just kind of going through keyword research. I'll tell you what, while you're waiting for that, go ahead and type in the domain name that you want me to check out in the chat box, and then I'll pull it.
Sure.
I'll pull it up in SEM Rush for you. I just want to kind of get through this section on the keywords because this is really, really hot stuff. So this is coming back. I kind of gave you the tip about the near me thing for local businesses, but here's the other thing. If you're not necessarily a local business, let's say you're, you know, a national business or a worldwide business, and you want to do search engine optimization, you want to get traffic, and you want to get to the top. It's one thing to do standard SEO and get listed and get to the top. It's another thing to stick there and stay. So the stick and stay part, that's the part that you're going to have to show a positive user experience. You're going to have to be better than the next guy. And what you're going to need to show is you're going to need to show high click-through ratio. You're going to have a better click-through ratio than the rest of the ones on the page. So some of the things that you can do for that is if your product is at all price sensitive, you can put dollar signs in there. You can say save and then put dollar signs in your title. That's one of the things that has been getting an incredibly high click-through ratio lately. Also, the fact that that's getting clicked on in search tells me that that might be something to also use in Facebook. If you're running Facebook ads and you're price sensitive, and you might be able to put save and then dollar signs in your ad, that may also get a higher click-through ratio. So that's something to think about. Now, I don't know the rules and stuff on Facebook. We'd have to ask Anthony, our local expert, on that, what he thinks about that, but it might translate really well. Or YouTube. You know, if you're doing YouTube videos, that might be something to think about putting in the title of your videos to get a higher click-through ratio. So click-through ratio, that's like the first step. That's the first thing Google sees, is how many people click through. And then the next thing is what they do when they get there. Do they bounce? And I have one of my clients, he's been doing something that he thought was really good. He's been blogging. And he's a real estate guy in a very exclusive area that has a lot of outdoor stuff. You know, he's in a mountain resort community, and there's a ton of different things, and he's been blogging about all the stuff that you can do right there, you know, to try and promote his real estate business. The problem is, well, actually, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Because of all the content he's created, he now ranks for over 1,000 different keywords. The thing is, the majority of those keywords are not real estate related. They're related to all the recreational things that are going on and all the different resorts and things in the community. So what's happening is people are clicking, you know, they're searching for that kind of stuff. They're clicking, and then they're finding, oh, this is a real estate site. And he's got an extremely high bounce rate because of that. So, you know, on one standpoint, yeah, he ranked and he got the traffic, but now they're all bouncing off, giving a bad signal. So what that's doing, it's making Google rank him for other terms. You know, they're throwing all kinds of terms now up to the top for him. But they're doing that to see if the bounce rate continues, or they're trying to figure out, you know, what he is actually, you know, what he has a good user experience for. So, you know, what was good because it wasn't on topic is now causing problems. So think about that. Think about what your customers really want. Those should be the keywords you go after, and that should be the content that you create. So, you know, use BuzzSumo or Trend Dominator, any of those tools to see what's hot, see what your customers are interested in, and build content around that. Another one is answering questions. A lot of people type questions in the search bar. They'll say how to or how do you, and then, you know, whatever that particular term or phrase is. So if you can create content around those questions, you will show Google a much more positive user experience. Because generally, somebody has a question, they type the question in the box and they find an answer, they're going to consume the content. They found what they wanted, and that's going to translate to Google that you provided good stuff. You provided good content. So what they're going to want to do, they're going to want to send more to you. So it's going to have a positive snowball effect. So do that. Find out what your people are looking for. You know, what does your tribe want? And give it to them. Even if it doesn't necessarily sell your product, It is your tribe. Get them on, get them into your education process. That is your funnel. Most people don't buy on first sight. Don't expect people are going to, just flock to your site and just buy stuff. You're going to have to build that trust and rapport. Remember, you don't have the face-to-face advantage. You're working in a digital realm now. So your digital presence needs to do what you used to do face-to-face, which it needs to build trust and rapport, provide value, and get them to, as Maurice says, know, like, and trust you. That's when they'll buy. That's when they'll actually take your advice on a purchasing decision. And that's the position you want to be in. You want to position yourself as the authority in the marketplace and then make the proper recommendations, which hopefully goes back and circles back to your product or service. That's how you get business online. That's how you automate the process. So, and that really comes down to those keywords. Look at what your tribe wants, figure it out, and then build content around that. Have that be the beginning of your funnel. Maybe that might be your opt-in. If you find people are wanting particular information or how-tos or anything like that, that could be the base beginning of your funnel. Bring them in, start educating them, start showing them how your product is the perfect solution for them to get their desired outcome. That will create demand and desire, and then that's the appropriate time to make the offer. And however long that sales process is depends on how complex your offer is and how expensive it is. The less expensive, the faster you can get to it. The less complicated, the quicker you can make the offer. So that's kind of, that's kind of what you should be focusing on now as far as keyword research. If you're doing any kind of pay-per-click, this is not just for organic SEO, this is also for pay-per-click as well. So keep that in mind, and you might want to alter course a little bit at this point. So, all right, I'm going to do a review here using SEM Rush. So I am going to share my screen so you guys can see what we're doing. And we're going to do this for Russ's site, which is UV Blocker. If you guys don't know, you probably don't. You wouldn't have any reason to at this point, but Russ makes these cool umbrellas and sun blocking material. And it's for people to protect them from sun rays and cancer and all that good stuff. So pretty cool product. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. I'm going to open up one page so you guys can see what he's got, see his site. Okay, so it's the Ultimate in Sun Protection. And you can see he's got some pictures here rolling through. They make hats, they make umbrellas, all kinds of good stuff here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that URL, that uv-blocker.com, and I'm going to go over to SEM Rush. And I'm just going to put that in here. Now, a little tip here, you don't have to put the HTTP, you don't have to put www, you just want the base domain when you're using SEM Rush. And I'm actually using the paid version here, so it's going to give you a lot more data. You can go here and just use their free version for, I don't know how many times they'll let you use it before they make you sign up or whatever, but anyway, just put the base domain in there and then hit search, and it will take off running and figure out a whole bunch of stuff for you. Okay, so it's looking at organic search, it's looking at paid search, backlinks, and display ads. So in paid search, it's only tracking 2 keywords, not much going on there. Let me see here. Okay, so organic, it's showing over here. You can change this. This is 6 months. You can change it to 1 month and see what's going on. You can change it out to a year. You can see your bounces over all time here. So back in January of 2012, looks like you were in your heyday here. And okay, so backlinks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just scroll down here and show you all the stuff that it will reveal. So here, top organic keywords. It shows that Russ is ranking for 305 keywords. And then it will give you the entire list here. It'll show you the position, the volume of people searching, the cost per click, that what advertisers are paying, and the traffic. This basically shows that this listing right here, UV blocker umbrella, in the number 4 position for him is getting 38% of his organic traffic. Now what can happen is the higher up you push this position, when you can get this into the top 3, the number 1, 2, or 3 spot, your traffic will go up radically. You know, anything from 4 through 10, it drops. So if he's getting, 38% of his traffic off of this keyword, he just moves that up 1 position to the number 3 spot. That's going to go up. That's going to increase. Now, more value here, the way I look at this is I also look at the volume. There's only 260 people a month searching for that term. So what would happen if he got this sun umbrella term up into that spot? How much traffic would he get then? Because there's 8,100 people a month searching that phrase. Or here, UV umbrella. He's in the number 15 spot. There's 1,000 people searching. So you get very little to no traffic off the second page. Most of the magic happens in the top 3. So that's what this kind of reveals for you. Now you can do a full report here and you can see all 305 of the keywords, and I'll show you that in just a minute. I'll come back to that, but let's go on through here. Here it shows, of these 305 keywords, it shows where they're located. Like here in the number 1 to 3 spot, there's none. In the number 4 through 10, there's 8. So there's 8 in the number on the first page, just not in the top 3. 11 through 20, he's got 37. And on down the line, you can see how many keywords are in, these different positions. So obviously, the more you can get in this column, the better your search traffic is going to be, the better your volume. Here it shows competitors. Now, a lot of times this is not accurate because, they'll have these big things like Amazon, eBay, Walmart. Those may be competing for this particular product line. So in this case, that might be right. But a lot of times, when you sell something, those big ones will come up just from sales volumes alone.
John.
I think this Coolie Bar, that's actually a real competitor, right?
Yeah, the Cooler Bar is a competitor, but we actually do sell Amazon, eBay, and Walmart under our brand name.
Oh.
So we do sell through those channels, which is a good thing. But the bad thing is we would rather them go to our site than go to Amazon and buy.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the ultimate thing. So in paid, it'll show you, your paid keywords, your positions, your volumes, your cost per click. Let's see, main paid competitors. Here it'll show you examples of the ads that you're running. So we're running this on his site, so a lot of the stuff he already knows. But if you were to put your competitor in here, you could actually see what ads they're running, and you can kind of get an idea of what they're doing. So let's see, down the line, backlinks. Okay, so these are some of the places where he's getting backlinks from, top anchors. Over here it shows the no follow links versus follow links. And this is a very natural looking thing here. What happens when it's unnatural, a lot of times when you get people that are doing specific SEO processes and they overdo it, this blue can be like almost 100%, the follow links. because SEO guys are taught to go for follow links and follow links only, and that's not right. You want to try and make it natural. So, you know, a smaller amount of follow links is actually natural. So you're in good shape as far as that goes. The other thing over here, this is the type of links. Like the majority of your links are text links. You've got 8 frame links, no form links, and 8 image links. The more of the variation there, the more natural it, you know, it becomes looking. I don't think that's a big problem for you at all, but that's something to keep in mind if you are doing SEO and you're hunting links. Make sure you're not just hunting text links, but you're also doing image links as well. Okay, so here's top anchors. What this is showing is how many backlinks have that particular anchor and coming from particular places. So right here, there's one domain sending 525 links for the anchor uvblocker.com. You want to have a lot of brand anchors, but here's the thing, you want to have more domains that are sending those links. Like this is a great one here. You've got the entire web address, 8 different domains sending 30 links. Here, this one that's sending all of these, you're not really getting the max bang for the buck out of that. I'm not sure which site that is, but it might be a site where, you know, they've got a link to you in their footer and it's on every page or something like that. So they're really probably only counting a couple of those links as active. Same with this one here. Here's one, travel umbrella website. This is, you know, everybody thinks, hey, you know, why would you link website there? That's actually a natural thing to do. If you do, you know, if you grow organically, that's going to happen just by virtue, just by nature. So that's not a bad thing. In fact, when we do SEO campaigns, we will actually use those type of anchor texts just to make what we're doing look natural. You know, when we're going out and building, you know, high quality links, we want to make sure that at the end of the day, we aren't looking like we just have high quality links. We want to make sure there's different link sources, there's different anchor text. For those of you that are not familiar with anchor text, this is the, see how there's a link here and it's blue and you can click on it? That's anchor text. Whatever the text of that link is, that's what anchor text means. And to Google, when Google sees that anchor text, they assume that what's on the other side is relevant. So like when it's your website address, that's very relevant because that's where it's going to land. Now, if you used your website address and you sent them to some other site, that would not be relevant. That would smell a little fishy. You know, if you had, like, let's say Travel Umbrella and you had 10,000 domains sending you, you know, all these links, that would be very unnatural because that's what's called an exact match keyword. So you don't want to overdo that. That can put you on Google's radar for penalties and things of that nature. So when you're doing organic SEO, you want to make sure that it is natural and nothing is overdone and obvious. Okay, and then here's domains. It just shows where they're coming from, what countries. And some of these are coming from the UK and New Zealand. So that's interesting. You might have somebody over there that's promoting you and got your pages on all their, or your links on all their pages. Okay, and then here's publishers. There's publishers that have published ads. Might be affiliate ads, could be ads that you're running. And then here's the landing pages and the times they've been seen. And then sample ads. So that's kind of a rundown of what SEM Rush gives you. This is kind of their summary page. Any of these things you can export. Like here, it shows there's 20 landing pages, and we're only seeing 5 of them. So if you wanted, you could view the full report, or you can export this. Any of this data you can export out of here into Excel. which is really kind of nice. So I'll show you how I use that. Like up here, okay, so for organic keywords, what I would do is I would export this because there's 305 of them here. So I'm going to export this into Excel. And I'll just open it up here so you guys can see what that looks like. So there's my report. So this is going to have 305 different keywords, and it's going to show everything. It's going to show the amount of traffic for any given page. It's going to give me the search volume. It's going to show me what position I'm in. So one of the things that I might want to do here is I might want to see what are my opportunities. So to see what my opportunities are for search, I would go in here and I would sort this data. And the first thing I'm going to sort it by is search volume. I want to see largest to smallest. I want to see what are the keywords I could have the most impact for, and how far away from getting that impact am I? Okay, so the top keyword here is sun umbrella. And we're in the 31 spot, so we're on the third page. Actually, the fourth page. So that would put you on the fourth page, the top of the fourth page. There's 8,100 people a month going for that term. So from an SEO standpoint, I might do a little research and figure out how difficult would it be for me to get that keyword to the top, because that would create a massive impact on Russ's business to have 8,100 people and be in the top 3 to get the majority of that traffic. That would be a high impact. Here's one, large umbrella. It's not relevant. There's no reason to go after large umbrella. Now, if it was large sun umbrella, yes, I would typically go for that. UV umbrella, this is an outstanding one. He's in the middle of the second page, and there's 1,000 people a month searching for that term. Portable beach umbrella, probably not, because it's not related to what he's offering. And you can just kind of go down the line here.
Hey, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why do you say large umbrella isn't relevant? He doesn't sell.
Well, if somebody was looking for a large umbrella, they're probably not going to value his umbrella because he's doing a specialized umbrella for sun protection. So his is probably more expensive than just an average large umbrella. So if somebody came there looking for a large umbrella and he's trying to pitch them on something they are not interested in, which is, all the benefits of his umbrella is going to be, cancer prevention and, keep you out of the sun and all that kind of stuff. Large umbrella, they might be looking for something to keep them out of the rain. So it's like, that's the first thing with ACT is how do we figure out what our clients want, and how do we create ad campaigns that are so specific to that. So it's all about conversion. Now, if he went after large umbrella and people hit there and they didn't find what they wanted and they bounced, that could actually hurt him. So that's another reason why you want to get specific traffic. You don't just want to drive a barrage of traffic to your websites anymore. You want the right traffic and you want the right message. Basically, it's the ACT program in a nutshell. It's finding the right people, figuring out what they want, and then delivering that to them. That's going to work for your SEO. That was really, one of the first things I started talking about ACT before I even created ACT. And it didn't originally start out ACT. It started out with research. It started out research and then creation and then traffic. And that's what I was teaching in SEO. I'm like, hey guys, things are shifting here. You're going to have to change things up. You need to do your research first. But when I decided, hey, I can turn this into a marketing program and really help a lot of people, the RCT just didn't sound as good as ACT. So that's where the ACT came from. That was a shift I made in my marketing just to be a little more catchy. So relevance is the key here. Relevance is the key to traffic in the search engines. Relevance is the key to conversion. You know, relevance is really the key to you making more and working less. You know, that it all really comes down to that. So this is just a, you know, a way that I would identify these opportunities, and then you know, I might take this and I might turn the text red, you know, and in all of this. And here's another way. I'll show you what I actually do. I'll take all the high volume keywords, like anything over 500, and I will turn those yellow. So when I do another sift, I can identify the yellow ones really quickly. And then the next thing I might do is I might go back to the data and I'll resort this to the cost per click. And I want to see who's paying the most. So here, large golf umbrellas, they're paying $5.94 a click. Sun umbrella UV protection, you know, they're paying $5.27 per click. There's not a big search volume here. That's okay. Like, where this would probably work better, if you found out that, hey, those keywords convert, I need those customers, you might be better off to go over and just buy that traffic. Just buy it, you know, for the $5.27 a click. If you find out, hey, half of them convert because that's exactly what they're looking for, and I've got the best item and I've got the best price and all that, might be worth, you know, just buying them for that. The other thing is you could SEO them. And here he's not too far. He's on the end of the second page, but he might spend a lot to drive this particular keyword to the top spot, and there's only 50 people a month searching for it. So will it be worth the value? You know, is the juice worth the squeeze? That's what you got to look at here. So what I'll do here is I'll take and I'll see who's paying over a buck. You know, which keywords are getting over a buck. I'll take all of those and I'll go back and I'll mark those with red text. So where the red and the yellow overlap, that's your gold. So really quickly, we took that list of over 300 keywords and we identified the gold. Now here's sun umbrella. That's the biggest opportunity. 8,100 people, over $1 a click, and he's in the 31 spot. So that's the winner right out of the gate. Here, large beach umbrella. This is opportunity, but it may not be totally relevant to him. So that's something to, you know, to consider. Another thing that I might do is I might take these, and this is from, if I was doing an SEO campaign and I wanted to see what deep pages were the best ones for me to push on with a link building campaign, then I would do this. I would sort them by the URL. So we'll just go A to Z. So what this is doing is this is telling me which URLs rank for a lot of stuff. Well, let me undo that. Okay, so I can see here that this particular page that he has 5 keywords that it ranks for, and they're all about lupus. So if I were to take this page and drip some links on it that had to do with lupus, I could effectively drive all 5 of those up. He's not getting any traffic off of any of these. Now, they've got a fairly low search volume, but collectively, there's 120, 150 people. So if I were to drive this particular one, and again, it's because it's such a low search volume, this may not be worth going after, but that's how I look for those type of opportunities. When I'm doing link building, where can I get the most bang for my buck? This is how I do it. This is how I hunt for them. Like this one here, only one page, so it doesn't have a lot of traction. I'm not going to spend time on a link building campaign on a page that doesn't have traction. I want the pages that have the most traction. So his home page is a great page to link build to, but typically the home page has the most link building already. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find a deeper page that's got a lot of traction, that has opportunity that I can hit and I can make a big impact. So here's one here, umbrella holders. He's got a page called umbrella holders. There's 590 people. So all of these keywords are currently ranking for that page that he's got. You can see the search volumes, you can see how much they're paying, and you can see the spots that he currently holds. So again, this page has traction. The question is it relevant enough, and does it have enough volume to make it worthwhile trying to push these up into the top spots? And also look at competition as well. So that's kind of the way that we would do this. And here's another one. This one's got a lot of traction for golf cart umbrella holder. Let's see, there's, collectively, there's probably a decent amount of traffic to that page collectively. So pushing that one up might be worthwhile. Large folding UV umbrella. Here we go.
When you say pushing that up, John, like, I don't know if I'm making a connection or just.
Okay. When I'm talking about pushing it up, is I'm talking about the rank.
And
So
he would do that by
doing link building campaigns for SEO. Getting people to link to the site shows Google that the site is important. So what they'll do, that will push it up in the rank. So like here, he's number 30 for that particular keyword. Number 30 doesn't do anything. Nobody searches onto the third page, so he's not going to get any traffic.
Right.
So when we can push that up, we can get it on the first page. Now he's going to start getting traffic. We push it up into the top 3, he's going to get a lot of traffic.
So does that just mean that he's placing ads that has large size folding umbrella?
Yeah, basically any kind of links coming into this page, like he might link into that page just with his domain name or his brand name in conjunction with the UV umbrella, large folding UV umbrella. The more specific you can be, the more Google would pay attention to it. But you can't overdo that. You've got to have it in a, in a decent mix. Does that make sense?
I think
Yep.
so. I kind of interpret it as writing those words into his language somewhere more.
Yeah, that's what's called on-page SEO.
Okay.
On-page SEO is making the content on the page relevant, so Google matches it up with those incoming links. Incoming links is like popularity. So you've got to have a couple of things to make Google pay attention to you. You've got to have relevant content. That's where those keywords have to show up in the content of the page and in your page titles and all that. That's called on-page optimization. It's also, the next thing is Google says, okay, that's cool. They think that's what it's for, but let's see how the rest of the world feels about it. So the next thing they look at is anyone linking to them specifically for those keywords. How many people link to them from the brand name, how many people link to them with the URL, and how many people link with that specific keyword. Because what that would be like you were a sporting goods retailer and you're writing about Russ's UV blocker umbrella, and you feel that his site is important enough to link to it and send your traffic to it. that's a big signal to Google that, hey, this site's important for that particular keyword. So link building is what's considered off-page optimization in the search engine optimization world. So in SEO, you'll hear people talking about two kinds of optimization. The on-page, which that's just your content. That's making sure your content's relevant, that your page code is clean, all that kind of stuff. And then the off-page, that is how many links. That's basically a link building campaign or a social campaign to get social signals pointed to your site. And really what that is, all of the off-page optimization really is just a popularity contest. It's how many people are linking and pushing others and referring you outside of Google. Now the third layer to that, which is a new layer for Google, is the user experience. That's what's called rank brain. If you ever hear, the term rank brain, that's what they're referring to, and that's artificial intelligence that Google is using over time to figure out which sites are relevant by the actual user experience. And that, in my opinion, is the most brilliant thing that Google or any search engine has ever done. I predicted that they would do that back in 2010, 2011, because I know the game from both sides. I know their side and I know the side of the optimization world. And I always think about this as, if I were Google and all these people were trying to game my system, how would I protect it? And that's how I've kept my clients safe for all these years, is I've never put them in harm's way. I always look at, what would Google be looking for, and how do I stay off that radar? How do I stay in their good graces but not get killed in the process? And one of the things I had predicted was that Google would go to user experience, because it's like the final frontier for them. If I were them, I would have gone there first because it's the only way to really show actual value to real content without people being able to game the system. So, it took them a while, but they got to it. I knew they would, and that's where we are now. So it's going to force a better internet overall. It's horrible for the SEO community, because if all they know how to do is the old style SEO, they're going to be cooked. If they don't realize they have to make the site relevant, and they have to make it to where it converts, and they've got to make good content, they literally are going to be cooked. So they're not going to be able to compete. And a lot of the SEO community actually folded. I don't know any of the top guys that were in it when I started. They're all gone. Even like from 10 years ago, when all the internet marketing community jumped in on it. And it was like the hottest thing since sliced bread. SEO was like huge in the internet marketing community, and all those guys are gone. There's not one of them from the last 10 years that I know that's still in the game. It's wiped them all out. And that's because they were one-trick ponies. They knew how to do one thing that would be effective, and then when it was no longer effective, it was worse than not just being effective. A lot of times it got their sites banned. So, they just decided, hey, I'm going to pick up my ball and go play elsewhere. So anyway, that's how I would go through, and I would leverage the information in this type of a report. Like here, UV protection compact umbrella. It's specific. It's got UV protection, and you can see all these pages, all these keywords that are ranking for that same page. Look at that. It goes on, and it's even got some big ones. So UV protection compact umbrella, look at that. It's got 2 keywords that have major traffic. This one, he's on the second page. That's your major opportunity right there for link building. This is the one, without a shadow of a doubt, that I would go for, Russ. That page right there has major traction, major opportunity.
Got it. I love how you make this so easy to understand with the colors and the sorting, and I can see how powerful this tool is.
Yeah, yeah, and that right there, the way I color code that and sort it, it makes the right thing scream. You know, especially here where you can see how many opportunities this one page has. So for you to do a link building campaign to that page, that's a lot of power right there.
Yeah.
You know, and then here you've got another opportunity, your UV protection golf umbrella. That's, you know, it doesn't have any of the yellow, but it's got a lot of red.
Yeah.
So here's another one. You know, this is another page you've got. UV protection large beach umbrella. Very specific. You got red and yellow. You know, this particular keyword though, that's like your major opportunity point, and it's not really relevant for you. So again, it's kind of a, you don't always go by the red and yellow combo. You've got to bring some, you know, some of your own intelligence into the choice here.
So that's not a good one?
Well, this particular one I would take out of the mix because it's a generic keyword. You know, large beach umbrella, if you got that traffic, let's say you spent the money and you drove that page to the top, that might create a high bounce rate for you, which is
so
not.
What would be the best way to get traffic to that page, since that's our most expensive umbrella?
Okay, for that page, I would be going after some of these other terms, you know, or go after large UV. You know, take this word here, UV protection large beach umbrella, and focus more on those keywords, because that's what your page is relevant to. And just because these are the keywords that you rank for that page does not mean that that won't change over time. If you start optimizing and sending links in there, you can actually, you can change that. You can change the way Google feels about that.
Really?
Yep. So like here you've got best beach umbrella 2016. Windproof. You've got a whole bunch of them here.
So John, can you give me a couple examples of what Russ will do to change that? Like, will he, I'm missing something with this, I guess.
Well, like say here, UV protection large beach umbrella. He's got UV beach umbrella. He doesn't have the keyword over here that is an exact match for that. So if he did a link building campaign and got people to be talking about, you know, UV protection with large beach umbrellas, he could effectively show Google, hey, this site's really relevant for that particular term, UV protection large beach umbrella.
So like he might do a YouTube live on it or Facebook live talking about it. Like what does it do?
Anything that would send links and traffic that would show Google that it's about that. So yeah, it could be a Facebook live, it could be just a post in Facebook with a link to that page. You know, it could be anything at all that points to that page going back to that popularity contest. It's like all of this is about a popularity contest. That's what grabs Google's attention first, is the links. You know, it's the outside links shows them what's important. So if they see something, they think, hey, you know, this might be trending. Let's test it. So, you know, they might take that and they might say, hey, you know, let's take this beach umbrella that's windproof from 50, let's take it up to the number 3 spot and see what happens. Let's see what kind of click-through ratio it gets. And again, this is not somebody at Google doing this. This is their AI. Their AI is trained to do this. Their AI is trained to teach and learn, you know, or test and learn rather. So the Google, you know, Google Rank Brain will make a decision. It might do it randomly, it might do it from other criteria, but it might take one of these pages and just pop it in the number 3 spot for half a day. just to see. You'll never know they're doing this. They just do this automatically. So it's going to put it there. It's going to see what the bounce rate is. It's going to see what the click-through ratio is. And then at the end of the day, it's going to say, was that a good choice? Should we put it back at number 50, or should we leave it here, or should we move it up?
So would he maybe do something with skin cancer? Like, I'm surprised there's nothing about cancer prevention.
Well, that might just be because he may not have created that content. See, if you don't have the content, you don't have the popularity, there's no reason for Google to pay attention.
Oh, that's big.
You've got to have those two things. You've got to have the content first. The content has to exist, but then you got to play the popularity game. That's what gets their attention.
So he could probably find an article somewhere about skin cancer and tie his umbrellas into the prevention of it.
Exactly. That's the content part. So you make it, you know, and in the ACT program, that goes back to education. That's an education-based marketing campaign. You know, you're taking them from the unknown, you're educating them, and in the process, you're showing them how your product or service is the ideal solution to their problem. So that creates conversion. Conversion makes Google solidify your position. You know, that makes them
Well, that's a huge market. That's a huge market, cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. So lots of opportunity here. And this is how you get to it. This is how you get to the golden goose using SEM Rush. So if you like Russ, I'll email you this. I'll email you this this sheet so you can
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Good stuff.
Wendy, get busy. Get busy on that cancer page.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Anything else? Oh, Cheryl just said to get busy creating that cancer content so you can take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah. Great idea.
So, all right. Any other questions here before we wrap up for the day? All right. Well, good stuff. Hey, thank you, Russ, for bringing that on. That was great content. You know, you guys, all you need to do is just tell me what you need, and I'm happy to do it on this call. So happy to do site reviews, put your site in SEM Rush, and play with it for you. So, all right, guys, we will see you next week, regular time. If I forget the reminder, just remember, we're here every Thursday for you. Okay,
Great. Thank you, John.
All right. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week.